Hi everyone, I'm Brianna and welcome to Roll Initiative. Today we're going to be looking at some of the best house rules that I've found for D&D. So, let's get started. Okay, first off, I'd like to start with saying that I got some of these house rules from Monty and Kelly from the Dungeon Dudes. They do some amazing videos, and I learned a lot about playing D&D from them. And I know they probably don't need a shout out from a channel as small as mine, but I'd really like to say that they helped me so much. So if you like these house rules, then go check out their channel for some more. This first one is one of my favorite and honestly one of my most used house rules, and that's to have two armor classes. I use it for larger creatures or sometimes bosses, but not usually NPCs or humanoids. But pretty much how it works is you have the creature's normal AC, and then you have a lower AC that is for a weak point that it might have. This has really taught my players to target points on a monster to try and find its weak point, and it can really help to get people thinking more creatively in combat. And it really helps if the creature has a high armor class so that people who are having trouble hitting it have a smart solution to try and find a way around that. This is another one of my favorite house rules, and it has saved me a lot of trouble. And it's how to run pets better when your whole party has them. Which, how it goes is pretty simple. You have three different classes of pets. You can have a mount, a companion, or a fighting companion, and you pick one depending on what you want from your pet. And each one will follow some different rules, such as the mount would be summoned and then it would take you where you want to go, and that's about it. It comes, it does its job, and then it's hanging around, probably nearby somewhere, until it's needed. The companion is more of a smaller, probably less useful creature that's more of just a companion and something fun for your character to have. Whereas a combat companion is a bit more difficult, and it's the only one of the companions that I actually have targeted in combat. I kind of ignore the other two if they're around. It's the only one that will take damage and pretty much be able to be killed, and it can follow rules closer to an NPC who would be helping you in combat or a familiar or such. But the way I run it is that it acts as its own independent creature, but it shares your initiative. And if you're interested in more about how this would work, then I've done a whole nother video on it, which I'll link up in the cards. This next one is rather more an idea for flavor than an actual house rule, but pretty much when one of your players is hit by a critical hit from the enemy, then they get a scar. And they can describe what sort of scar it is and how it looks and everything. But pretty much, if they want, then they can have battle scars, and then it'll actually be something they got in game instead of starting the game with a scar. Anyway, I thought it was a really cool idea to add more flavor to the game, and then your characters can show off all their battle scars and tell stories about how they got them. This next house rule is one that came from Monty and Kelly from the Dungeon Dudes, and this is their homebrew rule for healing potions. It's fairly simple and lets you use healing potions like normal, but as a bonus action. Or you can use them as a full action, but they heal you the maximum that they can. So, like a normal health potion would heal you by 2d4 plus 2. But if you use that potion as a full action, then it will heal you the highest you could get from that, which is 10. This is a really helpful rule to improve the strategy in your combat, and it gives the players a chance to heal more or to heal less but not disrupt their turn. This is also a really helpful rule if your players don't have a dedicated healer, as they've got more options to heal themselves. This last house rule is also from the Dungeon Dudes, in which if you have a smaller party than usual, or if you're playing a rather difficult high stakes campaign, then during character creation, we use the higher ability scores of 17, 15, 13, 12, 10, and 8 instead of your usual 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. This helps to give your characters a bit of a boost at the beginning of a campaign, especially if it's going to be a bit of a harder campaign, or if you have a rather small party. But there we go, that's the end of this video. I really hope you found these house rules useful, and if you enjoyed the video, then I hope you'd consider giving it a thumbs up or maybe subscribing to my channel. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.